Good evening and welcome to RGL's 20th season of Invite. Tonight we have a sort of double header of sorts for GlobalClan Ice. Our first match is going to be GlobalClan Ice versus GlobalClan Xiao, and directly after that we will have GlobalClan Ice versus Labwork. I'm M17, TC Mono will be joining us shortly, and we have, as usual, Dolphin on production. And when we're talking about these teams, it's definitely going to be favored for GCI, or excuse me, for GlobalClan Xiao. But GCI did put up a couple of rounds against them in the past, and since their roster swap up of sorts, they've been looking a lot better in general, just a lot more coordinated and more confident. So I'm hoping to see a close game tonight. I still definitely will favor GCX here, but I will hope to see multiple close games, especially with creative strategies coming out from GCI because of just all the different opportunities you have to back cap on Gully Wash. Which, speaking of tonight's match, it is going to be on Gully Wash, at least the first one, and our rosters will go over quickly here. For the side of GlobalClan Xiao, it is Moose on Pocket Scout, Soar on Flank Scout, Psy Guy on Soldier, Bot Mode on Roamer, Dingo on Demo, and Weebwhacker on Medic. And for GlobalClan Ice, it's going to be Hami on Pocket Scout, Darty on Flank Scout, Jaden on Pocket Soldier, Grape Juice on Roamer, Exile on Demo, and Hannah on Medic.
Yep, it should be a very exciting matchup. Very sorry for being a little bit late to this one, but hopefully it's going to be a great game that it doesn't even matter. Like you said, I do agree that GlobalClan Xiao are the favorites, but we've been seeing kind of improvements in form from GlobalClan Ice over the course of the season. And I think that, they were able to kind of get I think a few rounds off of GlobalClan Xiao earlier. It's later in the season, so they might have had a little bit more time to figure out their roster and really gel together as a team. But on the counter side to that, the same could be said about Xiao, where, they've had a bit more time to also kind of lock things down and maybe prevent some of the initial happenings that maybe allowed GlobalClan Ice to get those early initial kind of rounds off of them. But I think it should be a good game. I'm really looking forward to seeing what Bomo does on Soldier. We kind of mentioned it the first time we saw Xiao play, but he's been kind of locked onto that scout or demo class for so long. So especially on a map like Gully Wash, which is so, projectile favored, it can be really exciting. A lot of room for a Soldier to make an impact, and Bomo and Grape Juice, definitely some of the players I'm looking out for tonight.
Yeah, those are definitely going to be super impactful, and I think on the side of GCI, I'm also really looking to see what kind of chaos he can create on Flank Scout. He's definitely known for some craziness, and especially against a team as good as GlobalClan Xiao, you definitely need to make sure you don't want the enemy team to be, honestly too comfortable. I think that's what they learned from an earlier match in the season where they were, very safe against Anglerfish, and they've since gotten a lot better at that. So I'm hoping to see a lot of creativity here from GCI tonight. And interestingly enough, already previously in the season, GCX won 5-1 on Gully Wash, but the pick bans went slightly differently in terms of pick bans from last time, but I'm curious to see how this one ends up tonight.
Yeah, I am as well. Something to be said is I could see maybe GlobalClan Ice pulling it out. Same thing, actually, with GlobalClan Xiao, but Sniper can be pretty impactful on this map, especially around Big Door. And if things get a bit slow, I wouldn't be too surprised to see maybe Hami or maybe Soar come up on Sniper, but we won't have to wonder too much longer about what they're going to do, as we are going to go live. GlobalClan Xiao versus GlobalClan Ice here on Gully Wash. Instantly going to be watching the demo rollouts, and Psy is actually no, Dingo is going to be going through Big Door, and they are going to try and take the enemy team's side. They do take it, and they're actually kind of locking Hannah in exile in that little cubby. Now they're just finally managing to get out. Hannah still not going to be able to commit with her demo, and is going to have to back up through Big Door. So really great space taken by GlobalClan Xiao immediately on that first mid.
Yeah, I think that honestly, I think the GCI soldiers just weren't ready to get aggressive there, just because Dingo was already like up the little cubby on his side or on the enemy team side of mid really quickly, and he just took so much space and locked Exile and Hannah out so much that like the mid was almost like already over by that point because the GCI soldiers just didn't have really an opportunity to get any space created for their teammates to walk out. But we do have Jaden up on Battalion's backup, but besides that, nothing unusual. Pyro and a gun as expected, and GCX is trying to break into this last hold.
Yep, we're gonna have to see how they attempt to do so. Gullywash last, the home of the infamous pressure cooker. So many ways to get into this last, and especially with that entrance through water, it's an easy way to get onto the point. But Dingo is gonna find a pick there on to Jaden, so that's gonna send them over to the respawn room. Gonna be an opening for GlobalClan Xiao to maybe try and get a little bit more point pressure. That's one less soldier to really try and block the point. All eyes on Grape Juice is gonna bomb over and does spot Soar lurking beneath the point. They take down the sentry gun, so there's gonna be no anti-air to defend any soldiers from bombing in, which Bomo does. Meets a soldier up into the sky, is gonna get taken down. Soar took that as an opportunity to try and get a little bit of time on the point, is not gonna be able to get any. Does manage to live, so they're not gonna go 2 down, and the kind of risk of any type of counter sack is very much nullified.
Yeah, that looked really scary there for GCI for a second because so many of their players were low. Exile pretty low, but I think he'll be able to back out here and get beam from his medic. And already Soar has snuck his way back into water. I know he likes to do this a lot. He's actually just hiding. I don't know if they realized that he went into water. Oh, no, they definitely do because they already had Grape Juice up on the ring. Dingo is going to get the sentry early, which means no sentry to deny any bombs. They're already trying to build it back up, but not too successful. Soar about to pressure this cap here as Grape Juice is trying to hold it off. He is able to hold it off for now, but there's more pressure coming in from the explosives, and he's got so much cap time. Wow.
Yeah, a lot of cap time, and even though they were able to get him and they're going to find another onto Bomo, they have to worry about anyone going for a back cap. They're trying to take a little bit of presence over in lobby. They get a good damage onto Moose, but they lose quite a few to do so, both of their soldiers. So Moose might be feeling himself, gets in and drops Exile from the Uber. That's going to be so crucial right there. Unfortunately, Dingo also did go down, so both demos dying in that Uber exchange. Moose, however, is here on the cap in a 1v1 with Hami, both doing a fair amount of damage, and now the cavalry comes in. Soar is here to try and help his scout partner, but the respawners were there in force for GlobalClan Ice, so sorry. That is going to be a last held, but they're trying to push out here, which could be dicey.
Yeah, it very much could be, but especially right now, while GCX is down 2 players, this is honestly the time, and they actually pick off Dingo again. Huge pick there. Earlier in the round, that was just Darty flanking with the number of players dead in lobby during that Uber exchange, and that's Dingo's still dead, meaning GCX is in a kind of weak position here. They do have 1 soldier on each of the doorways, and GCI is getting some space. Jaden is already through. Here comes Grape Juice through the other door, in onto Weed Whacker already, but no kills there, and it's actually going to be 3 down in favor of GCX, only losing 1, and now Exile is unfortunately also caught in. He's going to have to get killed by the traps, and it's just Hami and Hannah backing away.
It is, and the thing is, they do have Uber to use on last, but they don't have a lot of players to use it on. They are going to get a few respawners. Crucially, their soldiers. A bomb comes in. Both Ubers are going to be exchanged on the last point. They find one onto side, so that's going to be beneficial for GlobalClan Ice as long as they don't drop anyone here. They keep their heavy alive. They find one onto Soar. Bomo trades them out. Moose actually finding a few on the low ground. Grape Juice trying to chase him, finds Weeb Whacker. That's going to be so crucial because as long as they don't lose anyone else here, they are going to have Uber advantage to go forward and try and push out. Should be a sizable amount, probably around about 50, but in this moment, it seems like GlobalClan Ice are just trying to see if they can either get some cap time or maybe try and get the kill onto Hannah.
Yeah, they're doing some sort of play. It looks like they're going to cap time. Bot mode is not going to be able to get much cap time along with Moose, and they're both going to go down. Soar's still doing a little poking and prodding, but Dingo has safely tucked his way out. And actually a bit of miscoordination there. Soar is going to go down, so that's 3 down for GCX, which means this should be a much easier push for GCI, and they're going to cleanly take second. GCX is already out. But from there, it's not going to be a huge, like, there's no player ad to push off of here, but there is a big Uber ad in favor of GCI, but we do also have Soar up and Sniper on the forwards.
Yep. and they are gonna immediately pop through that big door, just maybe because of a Soar sniper. They find the space, they don't find anyone. Soar is gonna backspawn back up onto Scout, and while they don't have Uber just quite yet, you can see them already trying to poke and prod. GlobalClan Xiao seems there's maybe anyone a little bit too far overextended that they can pounce on, but they're gonna have in just a few moments, and they're gonna be coming right back in with their own Uber.
Oh yeah, and still a 50% Uber, and they're taking their sweet time, but they are able to get this for free. They're able to take second without losing anyone, I say. Although Jaden
Oh my
goes in and
God.
gets the pickaxe force onto Weedwhacker. Oh my goodness, Weedwhacker disrespected Grape Juice earlier there on the Market Gardener, but you cannot disrespect the escape plan, and that's a big Uber ad for the side of GCI. And Darty's already snuck his way in behind. He's in on point.
Yeah, he's in on Soar, gets some good opening damage. Soar actually returns pretty heavily, but is going to fall to the low ground and falls down. And they're trying to take this in without using. Hannah is so weak, managing the milk, and finally is going to have to use in the face of a few soldiers right there in front of her. So they are going to be able to get the point. They do get a couple of kills, crucially one, onto Bomo. So that's going to be a lot less projectile spam, blocking these doors, allowing them to immediately flood through. They do so much damage. Oh my God, Jaden going ham is going to do so much with the help of Grape Juice. Might fall. There is still Soar hiding behind the rock. Weedwhacker out in no man's land, trying to protect himself with the Solemn Vow. Isn't going to find anything. Bomo, nice rocket trade onto Grape Juice, but at the end of the day, it's still going to be GlobalClan Ice getting the second point in a really great position to either go into last immediately or to use their Uber advantage on the last.
That was one of the most insane fights I've ever seen. The teams basically just headbutted each other. It was a great call by GCI though, because even though Soar was still had spawned already, he really wasn't in a position, and they just sent so many through that GCX did not have enough players watching choke. Hami gets through the shutter for free. They do use, and they get the kill onto Sai early, and they're already in onto Dingo, but Hami does go down to Dingo's traps. They do finally get Dingo, and Exile is going to get the kill onto Weedwhacker, but it's a 3v3, so this is going to be a little tough for GCI, and bot mode is going to get one. Now it's just Exile and Hannah, who are both caught in and are going to be going down here, and that's a full wipe for GCI, but a last hold for GCX.
Yep, a very great last hold for GlobalClan Xiao, and importantly for them, Hannah is an extremely late death, so she's gonna be taking kind of the back spawns all the way with Exile as well, so there's gonna be no sticky traps. All damage is permanent because their medic is not with them for GlobalClan Ice, so this is going to be a really great opportunity for GlobalClan Xiao to basically go coast to coast if they work this well, but losing your pocket scout is not the best way to do that. They do find one on Exile, who is, I guess, rolling out into a bunch of damage, so that's going to be okay. Bomo, very weak over in Victor, in a 1v1 with Darty, is going to lose that 1v1, and now they do have to call things off. Maybe being down one, you can still try and push for that, but being down two, now the flank is open. Darty is in behind, maybe looking for a 1v1 onto Moose. Does Moose know? I think Moose might know. Is actually going to avoid that all the way, has spotted Darty out, and now Soar is going to come to help them out, but Grape Juice, helping its flank partner, is going to be able to get revenge. So all this does is buy time for GlobalClan Ice to get closer and closer to their own Uber. They're already at 80%, and sure, GlobalClan Xiao could go now, but it'd be very, very risky.
Yeah, Moose very smartly clearing out from that way when he knows that it was Darty as a scout behind, meaning you don't have to worry about the soldier in the super close range. It's already going to be a sniper up. Jaden did spawn, or excuse me, that's not Jaden. Darty is on sniper. Peeking now is going to take the first shot, and there's the sniper call. No damage onto GCX. So GCX will now be prepared for that sniper. They are actually bringing a lot of pressure through choke. Actually, they're just bringing their combo through choke, and they're going to take an aggressive exchange. Wow, and the Uber's still coming out here, and it looks like GCX are going to be backing out of this. No team really in a huge favorable position, although as I say that, Moose is still pressuring with Beam. Soar is going to get a kill onto Jaden. Moose going to get a kill onto Grape Juice. Darty did get a trade kill onto Soar, but this is going to be very hard for GCI to hold, and they are already going to be backing up to their own second. And with Darty still on sniper, you can expect a push here soon from GCX.
Yeah, you can. Such an aggressive call for Moose, but working out wonderfully for him and the rest of the team. Bomo is going to be jumping in, making some space, going for a super high bomb. Not going to find too much else there. Is going to crater Psy, taking a lot of damage as well. Isn't going to be able to get out. Nice pipe from Exile, and now they're going to be down both soldiers on Xiao. And this could be an opening for GlobalClan Ice to do something, but Soar is going to find one soldier, might find the second over in Wood. Going to be chasing Grape Juice all the way in, dodging so much damage. Grape Juice so low, trying to get out, but Soar is going to find both soldiers. Now the flank is completely open. It's only going to be Exile, Hannah, and Darty, who is still up on Sniper. Surfs out very far, but is going to crater to his death. And I think Exile, Hannah trying to get out. Bomo with the spoon isn't going to connect. Moose running in, trying to get the kill onto Hannah. Going in super deep, does manage to find it. And this is going to be a perfect situation for GlobalClan Xiao. They have gotten second. They have massive they're gonna have pretty big Uber advantage and a great opportunity to take the first round in this match.
Yeah, and that was such a crucial play from Soar, recognizing there that when you have one of your scouts, the enemy team had Darty on Sniper, so they only had one scout with their combo, or with their team, and that scout was Hami with the combo. So that just gave them so much opportunity for sort of take the scout 1v2. I mean, it was very well done as well, and then that also just meant that there were no soldiers at choke, which meant GCX had such an easy time pressuring through that choke.
Yep, they did, and now they have got this 100% Uber to come in with Hannah up on the Chris. We'll have to see if that plays into it, but they're getting a little bit of early cap time. GlobalClan Xiao, Jaden blocking the point, does a lot of damage off onto Grape Juice, who's going to be going over into lower, and it's just trades all the way across. Weed Whacker is going to fall, so you're in a little bit better position. Oh, that was so close. Moose on the point, almost gets it off. Dingo, last one alive, tries to go for a Hail Mary play, not going to happen. And so it is going to be a held last for GlobalClan Ice, but the thing is, M1, they are up on crits now.
Yes, and they do have crits, and you can, if you are paying enough attention on GCX, they can notice that it is crits. You just have to see the different textured metagun, and we'll see if GCX is ready for this. Here comes the aggressive crits. It looks like they were.
Oh my
is going to kill Darty instantly, almost kills Hannah too, and is going to go down eventually, but no other kills, and with Hannah low and no space, this is going to be a really bad situation for GCI. They're backing up already, and GCX is already pushing in with Sora already having some space onto the second point, and he's already capping for GCX.
Yep, and that is kind of the problem with the crits last holds, is that sometimes it can come in clutch because you do build faster, and maybe at the tail end of the enemy team Ubering into you can use crits on them unexpectedly, but in that scenario where you do manage to hold and you don't use, suddenly you're stuck on the crits and might put you into an unfavorable position. It is going to give another opportunity for everyone on GlobalClan Xiao to Uber in, and they do, coming in, they don't take a lot of space, they don't find any kills, but they're trying to go for the point. Soar finds a little bit, is actually going to be able to bait Grape Juice in, and they just stand on the point and get it like that. First round going to GlobalClan Xiao after some failed crit shenanigans from GlobalClan Ice.
Yeah, that was really well done, though, on the push by GCX. They got a couple kills early, and they just had so much height control. They had Psy just completely taking over, sitting on the little rim above the point there, or the little ring. And once you have all that space with a couple of kills, it just gives you such a huge advantage in that last fight. And we're going into the second mid-fight, surprisingly. It's already been 14 minutes just for the first round.
Yep, very long first round. We'll have to see if the second follows immediately. Soldiers bombing either which way side, doing a lot of damage onto Exo, who's launched up into the sky. Soar is going to be going for the demo, does find one. Hannah, trying to exact revenge, is going to fall instead, and it's only going to be Darty, the last one up for GlobalClan Ice in a 1v3, and might be able to get Soar, does find one onto Soar, is going to get the pack, and now going to be coming back onto Moose, but Moose doing a lot more damage. I don't think was hurt at all in that 1v1. And Dingo finds one onto a rolling out Hami, so I think attempts... Oh, he finds another on Exile! Okay, all attempts of holding second, I think, may have been nullified by that play from Dingo.
Wow, that was big mess up there, unfortunately for Exile, because it's usually just a coordination thing, because you don't want to let yourself get caught by the trap more than once, unfortunately, and sometimes that does happen. It is still even Ubers, and Exile is already up, which means it's not going to be too easy for GCX to push into last, but they got second for pretty much free, and they're already spamming down the gun. Darty is holding it up for now. Bot mode is going to go down to spam from Exile. Grape Juice is going to get a kill onto Moose, and already that's going to be 2 down for the side of GCX, and Grape Juice trying to pressure for a sack. Dingo gets a kill into Hami, but Darty gets a kill into Sai, and Exile was in through lobby. Oh my goodness.
Yeah, Darty is wrapping around, is doing a lot of damage, is in the midst of this Uber, is gonna fall, but they did force it out from Weedwhacker. Now it's gonna be a much later use from GlobalClan Ice. Soar over in lobby, tried to go for a wraparound play. Moose is there as well. Hannah is disconnected from anyone, having to run over into the face of Soar. Luckily, she had the bow out, so was able to protect herself, but that could have been really, really bad. I don't think Soar was expecting to be anywhere near the medic in that scenario, but was very close to getting the kill. It's still going to be GlobalClan Ice trying to push outside, goes for a fadeaway bomb, is just going to jump back over to safety. Try not to lose anyone, but Darty in behind. Grape Juice has got the exit, doing so much damage, and that is almost a full nuking coming out from Grape Juice. They are going to find Dingo. Soar is hiding, tries to go for a play once again onto Hannah, not going to be able to make it work, and that was an excellent push out from GlobalClan Ice. Bomo is in the forward spawn, almost gets bombed and taken down by bombing Jaden, I believe, but is going to back spawn, and they're in position and want to go even further.
Yeah, and Exile with the leading bomb on Demo, taking a lot of space for his team, and already GCI has taken second. Hannah very safely was still at choke, so no real risk of getting caught by anything there. Hannah does have a 50% Uber ad. There is going to be a gun and a pyro up, although for now the gun's level 1, but I think GCX will have time. Yes, they will. They do get it up to level 2, so you have that double firing rocket, double firing speed. And here comes that aggressive Uber from GCI.
Oh, nice reflect from Moose on the pyro, just to avoid a little bit of spam, and they're doing well to hold this point, and GlobalClan Ice aren't finding anything at all, and GlobalClan Xiao are finding almost everyone. They might be able to get Hannah, who's trying to escape through Big Door Hammy, doing his best to protect and keep his medic alive, and they should be able to do so, but they have failed their last push. Really great hold from GlobalClan Xiao. Their last souls have been unbreakable so far. Darty, very weak on the low ground, is going to see his soldier and Jaden fall. Halmy going to fall as well, and it's just kind of desperation. Salvage attempts coming out from GlobalClan Ice, not working.
Yeah, nice air shot there. Dingo is going to get the final kill onto Darty, so it's just Exile and Hannah who have to back all the way up to their last. And unfortunately for the side of GCI, since GCX already has Uber, they can just leave Soar to cap already, and they can be pushing in whenever they get all their teammates ready. They already have bot mode pressuring from River. Looks like they're not too comfortable pushing yet, although here comes that Uber aggressively through Shutter, trying to catch any kills, and Dingo catches Hannah immediately. Ami gets 1 kill, but this is a big advantage here for GCX.
It is, and I think this is nigh unwinnable if you're GlobalClan Ice. It is only Exile up, tries to bomb the point, and that is so unfortunate if you are Hannah. I think she was at 98 or 99, somewhere close to that, but I mean, just an insane bomb from Dingo, going to be able to take them out, and that is going to be the second round for GlobalClan Xiao.
Yeah, the 98% Uber is always so tragic, because at that point you're just holding down right click, just hoping that you'll get Uber in time, and just doing your best to dodge and stay alive, but those are always just such awkward situations. Early bomb from Grape Juice, trying to get the kill onto Dingo, not going to be successful. Hami does get a kill onto bot mode as a trade. Sai going in very aggressively, does go down, does not get the kill onto Jaden, so it's a 5v4 in favor of GCI, and now it's a 5v3 in favor of GCI, although GlobalClan Xiao had a lot of space. Big bomb from Jaden, somehow still staying alive, staying alive for a long time, and that's going to allow Darty to help clean up, get the kill onto Weedwhacker, and now it's just Hannah and Darty, because the other player went down, so, or Exile was Oh, Exile went forward and trapped. He's just fighting at the enemy team second. Oh my goodness.
Yeah, it was a little bit of a demo 1v1. Dingo and Exile over on second, which you don't see every day. But Psy is bombing around behind them as they try and go through choke. They weren't expecting that. Sora is here to help out and does a lot of damage, takes down Grape Juice. But luckily for GlobalClan Ice, they do have Uber. Really great stuff from Xiao to be able to force that out. And it's actually going to give them a little bit of Uber advantage. They may have lost the mid, but they're going to be in a better position to at least hold on to last. And depending on how they play that, maybe even second. Bomo is weak, gonna have to back up. Moose doing a lot of damage as well, just to delay and try and buy time for the spawners. But I think unless they get a pick here, it might be a second point for GlobalClan Ice.
Well, importantly, Exile does not have any traps on the door, so Dingo is still able to peek this 4-3. Bob Mode gets a kill onto Darty, and that's going to force GCI out completely. Yeah, it looked a little awkward from GCX because they had like an even player situation there because their Darty was still capping on mid, so I'm very surprised that they like backed up for a bit, but then they realized, I think, and then they just went right back to fighting that 3 versus 3 at the time, and they're already going to aggressively use through Big Door, trying to catch some players. They are going to pick off both Tommy and Jaden. Huge early picks there.
So huge, and Moose going forward isn't going to find anything more, but is a follow-up bomb from Bomo doing so much. Oh, Exile just barely dodging all of these rockets, and that could have been so much worse for GlobalClan Ice as they now come in with their own Uber King. GlobalClan Xiao escapes Soar, barely making it out with Weeb Whacker. That's going to be really great for them. They do lose Psy, which isn't going to be good. That's going to be one less soldier to hold these doors and someone else to initiate their sword, just kind of peeking a little bit. But Darty also peeking on the second, over through Big Door, taking Exile and Hannah. Maybe an opening for Grape Juice to try and get in both soldiers. Jaden looking like they want to go in for a bomb, and they are going to go in. Jaden dies almost immediately. Grape Juice as well. They do get a little bit of space. Hami taking it forward. Bobo with a bomb tries to get on to Hannah. A lot of damage, and they're all going to get collapsed upon as they escape through Big Door. It's only going to be Exile and Hami. Hami hiding in the bushes actually doesn't get spotted by Sor there. Exile is going to fall in a little bit of a demo 1v1 again, and Hami is still on mid. I mean, question is if he's going to be able to do something, but the fact that they don't spot him is actually wild.
He's going to walk up, but he's actually going to delay for Moose to get back. Oh my goodness, he is just completely hidden. They have no idea. Grape Juice does get a kill onto bot mode, but is going to be traded here very shortly. And Hami is still alive. I wonder how he's going to time this, because you want to try to get some sort of pressure onto this, but you don't want to like let it be anything worse than a 1v1. And unfortunately, he has to show himself because the rest of GCX are very slowly and methodically taking control of the second point, and they're already going to use in. But Tommy is doing the back cap already.
Yeah, he is doing the back cap, so the question is, can they delay long enough? Exile is on the point, and they might be able to do it. I think Hami is actually rushing back to help and assist the team, and they have been able to hold. Really great hold coming out from GlobalClan Ice there. Weeb Whacker is going to go down. Bomo does manage to find a trade, so good stuff from him there, but that is going to be a very crucial hold for GlobalClan Ice. Psy is going to be peeking the second point, but it's just going to back up as Sor and Moose lurk over in Big Door.
Yeah, huge play there from Hami, just completely dragging two players kind of back, honestly, for the second point, and then just able to sneak his way right back into last to help his team fight. Huge advantageous situation there for them. Already a soldier bombing in. Jaden is going to go down. Dingo also going to get the kill onto Grape Juice. But GCI still has Uber. They are down 2. Exile gets a kill onto one player. There's 2 other players still caught on the ground here. Psy is going to bomb in onto Exile. Not going to get the kill there. Exile is now stuck on the ground, and here comes that aggressive Uber. But Darty is going to get dropped because Hannah fell to the floor. So that's a really awkward situation there. And now GCX with a big 50% Uber ad. They will catch out Sor, who was hiding, but GCX will be pushing in soon once they get their Uber, and they already have bot mode spawned, and Psy is already rolling out as well.
Yep, so it's going to be a case of, are they going to be able to take this for free, Bomo seems like he's going in through drop down to maybe just kind of call some things out and make a little bit of space. Actually does get air shot over trying to escape through big door and might get caught out, and they does die. The Uber comes out from GlobalClan Xiao. They should be able to find Grape Juice here, who's dying for a little bit. They actually find a ton escaping through choke, so this is going to be a really great Uber for GlobalClan Xiao. Going to be able to get the mid, probably second as well. Hannah is close to her own Uber, but doesn't really have the players alongside her to defend second, so they're gonna have to give it up. They can, of course, immediately try and push out of last, but that just opens them up to so many backcamp shenanigans from GlobalClan Xiao.
Yeah, and Darty was going for a flank shot of sorts, but Sword did clean that up, and that means that GCI only has a 40% Uber ad here. They are going to try to pressure off it quickly, but they have to take a lot of space here, and GCX is doing a good job delaying, although as I say that, bomb mode goes down very quickly here. Here comes a very large high bomb from Psy, is going to get spotted. Sword is in big door, not really doing anything. He's actually just going to back out, and GCI will take second right off of that, and we have a pause.
Do indeed have a pause, of course, 90 seconds in the future, but really great position at the moment for GlobalClan Ice. They're being able to push out their second. They didn't have to use their Uber to get it, and I mean, Tommy and Hannah aren't really next to the combo. They aren't really next to Weeb Whackers, so I mean, if they were, maybe they could just take a super aggressive Uber in and maybe see if they can just Uber check Weeb Whacker a little bit because it's getting close to the wire and see if they have still a little bit of advantage. But they can, I'd probably not find Source. Source should probably get out. But either way, both soldiers are still down on Sai and Bomo. I don't know what their respawn timer was. I forget if they were fresh kills or not. But even with like the Ubers basically being even, that's still two soldiers down that you can maybe try and take some space with. So they might be able to do a little something with that and maybe try and work something further.
Yeah, I think they definitely were pretty reasonably, they were pretty recent in terms of deaths, so I mean, Bombwood will probably have like a maybe a 5 or so second respawn timer, maybe like 8, and Sai will probably have a bit longer, like 12 or 13 or 14 seconds. But I think we actually might have a situation where Hannah might have unfortunately lagged out. Oh, it was Hami. Okay, never mind. Sorry. Big correction there. That would have been a much bigger concern because then you would have had to worry about Uber advantage and stuff like that. But if it's just a scout, it's not as big of a deal.
Yeah, that's true. It is the worst case scenario for a medic to be the one that goes, and then you get into the awkward thing of gentlemen's agreements and trying to figure out, all right, I take mid, but we have Uber advantage and all that stuff. So hopefully it won't come to that, and it should just be waiting until Hami gets their internet fixed and is able to come back in. Of course, the other thing is hopefully they don't lag out during the middle of some type of Uber push or last hold. Ideal scenarios, it's just a stalemate somewhere, mid to second, and it won't impact the game too much. But I mean, as far as this match goes at the moment, it's been fairly competitive. I would say, but it seems just like Global Clan Zhao at the end of the day are just kind of slowly getting the better of these decisions, and Global Clan Ice really don't seem to have a solid answer on how to take Global Clan Zhao's last.
Yeah, what I've been seeing that's really interesting because I don't think that we've been seeing this in the past for the previous season is Exile has been so aggressive with these bombs. He's been constantly bombing and taking space and just being, I mean, honestly, like very unpredictable. And I think that's actually throwing off GCX a bit here. They're just not used to all of the behind plays, and I do like to see that from GCI. Not all of the plays are working, of course, and they never, never, none of your plays will, or not all of your plays, excuse me, will ever work. You'll never have every single play work, but I'm glad that they're trying different things, and I'm honestly excited to see how this transfers into their second match against Labwork afterwards.
Yep, it should be pretty exciting. I mean, we've seen a lot of that from Global Clan Ice. Maybe not necessarily Exile, but definitely kind of from the flank players, Darty and Grape Juice. Darty specifically, kind of uh, I don't want to say notorious, but very well known for being someone who will go behind and kind of hide in those weird positions and try and just kind of catch you out like that, like he did up on that kind of iconic spot in Gully Wash lobby, which Moose, recognizing who he was playing against, like he said, was able to sniff it out. But I mean, it's been fairly competitive, but Global Clan Xiao, as we kind of predicted, getting the better of Global Clan Ice. What do you think Ice need to do to kind of be able to at least get around and maybe be able to win the match? Do you think it's more chaos, more kind of unpredictability, or do you think they maybe need to rein it in a little bit? The chaos is good, but controlled chaos.
I do like the chaos. I think the one place that I really would say that they don't want to be doing as much chaos is those last pushes. They've had a couple of last pushes where they definitely could have won them, and it's really important on this map to play around whether or not the demo is playing in water and to either and use that fact and how much space the enemy team has on their own height and determine based on those two factors how much point time you want to play or how much height you're going to get on the last. And I think both times GCI had a really like they weren't it just like looked like they weren't like comfortable enough just instantly making a decision. I think I would say they felt very indecisive there, and I think that's really something you have to be. That's something you have to do on Gully Wash because getting that space or getting a ton of point time early is super important because it can just force the enemy team into an almost unwinnable spot, as we saw from one of the Ubers from GCX where they just got the height early and they got a kill or two, and they just completely owned the last immediately.
Yeah, they've been really kind of solid, fairly solid on their last pushes in that attempt. There have been some failed ones from them as well, and some great holds from Global Clan Ice. But oh, we do have a little bit of a jolt, which would suggest that it's going to be kind of the pause, unpause, repause to be able to get one of the players, probably Hami, back into the server. So hopefully that does mean that we should be going live fairly imminently as they just get him to reconnect and then give the countdown. Oh, we have another one. So either it's taking a few unpauses to get things going, or maybe they joined and it wasn't too good still their internet connection and they had to redo things. But for Global Clan Ice, this would be a good match to win. Obviously, just to help them, but we won't have to worry too much about that any longer, as we are going to be going live here once again. Still going to be 2-0 in the favor of Global Clan Xiao. Grape Juice going to be going for a bomb, trying to get onto Weepwhacker, but the Ubers are going to be exchanged. Exile bombing out and away. A few more flashes coming out for Global Clan Xiao, but they have the space and the high ground, so it's not going to be anything taken for Global Clan Ice. Just going to be rotating over, and I think we're going to be heading into a stalemate.
Yeah, big aggressive Uber there from GCX, and they're already pressuring right back in. They do have Sword behind. Grape Juice did spawn. I wonder if that they remember that Grape Juice spawned. Jaden does get an early kill onto Sai, and they have some pressure in on mid. Hami already doing some cap time there, and Grape Juice is behind. I don't know if GCX remembers that Grape Juice is behind. He's just walking back in, getting a ton of damage here, and he's going to get one kill already, do tons of damage onto Weed Whacker. That's going to guarantee his death too. Big mistake from GCX, and that's going to allow GCI to completely take over this point. And now Dingo is going to get caught as well, and it's just Sai who got caught early and is now a respawner.
Sai is hiding behind the point. I don't think I've seen this one just quite yet. Hannah is all alone, so if Sai went now, and Sai is gonna go now, no one was with Hannah. That is a complete oversight from Global Clan Ice. Sai Gag finds another one onto Grape Juice, and what was looking like it should be an open round for Global Clan Ice. Sai has immediately made sure that it is folded, and that is where the lag out happened. So maybe Hami was supposed to be with, well, Darty gets Weep Whacker. I'm not sure how that happened. Maybe in the pause shenanigans, Darty was lining up his mouse and like making sure it was on the medic, but in that chaos does manage to find Weep Whacker. So what could have been very disastrous for Global Clan Ice is only going to be a little bit disastrous. They have lost mid and a great chance of getting their first round, but they are going to have Uber advantaged and an attempt, a possibility of holding second here, as they do have the faster spawners. That was a whirlwind of chaos, M1, and I wonder how much Hami locking out led to what we just saw.
Yeah, I have no idea. That was just so weird because both teams just made a huge mistake. At this level, you don't really expect that kind of stuff, honestly, where you just like completely forget about a player or you like from completely leave leave your med like unprotected. But both teams did it within the span of 60 seconds, which is honestly very odd. You don't want to let that happen. Jaden already gets through, gets some space, but Hami goes down in choke early, which means Jaden has to retreat. Grape Juice does take a lot of damage in. Big Door is very low, is going to be saved by his team. Exile rotating over, and it's going to turn into just an even Uber situation with now GCX on the approach or the attempt to break through this hole. And we've got just 2 minutes left before we go into that continuous overtime.
Yep. So it's looking like probably going to be a 3-something game. The rounds have been fairly slow as we do enter another pause. And maybe we'll get eventual word. Hopefully it's not Hami again. Though, okay, that was fairly quick. So whatever it is, hopefully they're able to. Okay, we do have that. Oh my God, on my screen, Moose just he descended down from the heavens. I've never seen that glitch before. That was very weird. I don't know if it was caught on screen, but that was a unique one to say the least. But we do have word that one of the players did lag out. So they're going to be able to get back in fairly soon. And it's always unfortunate when you have a lot of pauses in the game because it can just kind of not destroy the mental, but it can be such a drag on whatever you're doing because you got to wait. You got to be still mentally ready because they might unpause at any moment, but you can't be like too focused. Otherwise, it's just going to drain you. So very unfortunate to have to deal with for all the players. And of course, whoever's lacking out, not in a fun position either.
Yeah, the fortunate thing is you do have the opportunity to. Oh, actually, we already have the unpause here, and Sai is on the shotgun as well. To point out, Sor is going to sneak his way behind into the enemy team's lobby. Bot mode has a decent amount of. I was going to say he has some control over choke, but he doesn't now. Sai guy rotates over, and he's the only one watching choke. And now GCX has quite a bit of space here, and they have bot mode and Sora both behind pressuring. And here comes a shove from GCI trying to get Sai off that choke. They are going to get him off the choke for now, but nothing really committal, honestly, from both teams. Although Exile very low is going to get bowed by his medic, but nothing huge here for now. Although we have GCX really starting to slowly work their way in and pressure. And here comes the aggressive Uber from GCI.
Yep, very aggressive Uber coming out. Weeb Whacker is going to have to use in response, and they're trying to get a little bit of space here. Of course, they have Sora and Bomo on the high ground, so they feel like they should be able to stay in here. Jaden going for a bomb, getting some great damage onto the escaping players, and that is going to be them backing up. Bomo and Sora still in behind. Grape Juice was peeking, see if maybe you could go for a flank play through choke. Sai has got that locked down in the meantime, though. A little bit of ball action, I think, coming out from Darty or Sword, just trying to see if they get a little bit of damage to call in one of their players to take advantage of. But for the meantime, it's going to be an awkward position, just a bit for GlobalClan Ice, having those two players back in. And once again, the pressure coming out from Xiao. They do a lot onto Grape Juice, who's weak, and that's where the pause on pause happened. And they're all so weak on GlobalClan. Xiao, the bomb's gonna come in from Bomo, and they get fined too. Oh my God, it's just an absolute nuking from Xiao. And that is a really great position to be in because it's continuous overtime. They've got Uber advantage, and now as long as they capture this point, they are going to win this game.
Yeah, that is a brutal situation there. Sai has been absolutely dominating on the shotgun pocket recently, getting so much strong DM wins there, and that's going to be the third round and the win for GCX here, 3-0 in favor of GCX in this first match. And Hannah did hit a really nice surf, almost made it out, but unfortunately got chipped down by Moose right at the last second. But unfortunately, even with that, I don't think it would have mattered because too many players on GCX were left alive at the end of that push. But that was a really brutal situation there, losing Exile, because Exile was like the key like holding piece there. You really need your demo to hold the point, and without that demo, GCX were just able to just walk right on in.
Yep. And GCX takes down GCI. So the battle of the global clans falls in the favor of GlobalClan Xiao once again, looking really good throughout this season so far. only loss being to like a G6 early in the season, which was a pretty convincing loss, to be fair. Like a G6 looking fairly flawless so far, not losing too many rounds and not showing too many cracks in their armor. It's going to be exciting to see if GlobalClan Xiao can come back to fight them a little bit stronger uh, as we enter kind of like the midway, the second part of the regular season. But we can analyze the logs of this match just looking at it, and things that stand out to me definitely got to be Dingo, 338 DPM, having a great game on demo. Exile as well, high damage, and having a great game. That's kind of been the through line, at least from my very shallow analysis. M1 is Exile consistently having pretty great games, doing lots of damage, but also crucially getting a lot of kills, which is sometimes, maybe the thing. Demo doing a lot of damage, but doesn't get the kills, but Exile is doing both.
Yeah, it looks like Hami was really having one of those games on Gully Wash where it's unfortunately Gully Wash can just be such an awkward map for scouts, especially when there's so much chaos going on with the explosive classes because they just have just because of how many corners and different angles there are on this map, it can just make things so awkward for a scout, especially when things are like moving fast. Or like particularly slow. If they're not moving at a medium pace, it's just something that can just always happen as a scout, and those are always really frustrating to have. And I wonder if that will impact anything because we are going to shortly go into a match here between GCI and Labwork. That's the first match they've played this season. They haven't played each other so far this season, so we'll see how that match plays out and if the match so that just happened between GCI and GCX, if that will change how GCI plays against Labwork.
Yep. It could definitely. I mean, interesting thing about this is sometimes when you have double headers, you can take something you learned about a team and immediately apply it to when you face them again in the second match. But here, they're coming in up against a new squad, so obviously there some things will definitely apply and some things they can change, but other things might just be due to how each of these teams play individually. I wonder how much Global Clan Ice have scrimmed Labworks, like how well they know kind of what to expect coming in, and same thing for Labworks, how much they know what to expect from Global Clan Ice, because like you said, this is the first time we're going to be seeing these two stack up against each other.
Yeah, they definitely scrimmed. I haven't gotten a chance to take a peek at the logs, but I think they've been pretty even so far. Honestly, from what I remember, they've been kind of going back and forth depending. So I'm really curious as to what that'll mean for these teams. And going over the lab work roster, excuse me, I guess we won't go over GCI again because they just played, but the Labwork roster is going to be Mobe on Pocket Scout, JPEG on Flank Scout, Shaman on Pocket Soldier, Sodi on Roamer, Tony on Demo, and Windows on Medic.
Yep. And for Labworks, this is a very interesting game. Kind of this matchup is, I wouldn't say crucial, but it could be a defining thing in their playoffs aspirations, because currently at the moment they are fourth seeded, but a lot of that's just due to the fact that Anglerfish has played more games than them. They've played more games against the top teams like Global Clan Xiao and like a G6 versus Labworks, who haven't played as many games. So some of those losses that are kind of accounting for Anglerfish being at fifth are maybe you're going to expect to see the same thing happen to Labworks as well. But Global Clan Ice is definitely, I think, a very beatable team. Maybe not like super beatable. I expect Global Clan Ice to do well, and I would predict him to win, but I think that a upset win, not an upset win, but a win for Labworks or Anglerfish versus Global Clan Ice, and how these three play against each other is going to be very, very important for playoffs, both in terms of which of the three are able to get in, and for seeding of which one's going to be third seed and which one's going to be fourth.
Yeah, and those seeding matches can also really affect things because if you get the higher seeded team and then you have a worse match, that could really affect, your confidence going into playing the lower seeded game. And all those little different factors can add up. It's hard to say, definitely at this point. And of course, even until the match happens, it's hard to say which of those factors will really be the most important. But just having more and more of those small little things go your way can make the matches even, or just give you a higher chance of success. So you always have to be careful of those. And speaking of this match tonight, we are going to be playing Gully Wash again. So not going to be seeing anything crazy. This time it is a Labwork pick, and GCX did pick Gully Wash for the match we just saw. So I wonder if that's going to give GCI a little bit more comfort, because they've just been, playing Gully Wash the whole night so far, it seems, you would assume. So I don't know, but hopefully they have some time to talk and figure out what happened in that game against GCX, and we'll see if they make any huge changes going into their match here.
Yep, they could make a few changes, and it's also important for them to realize what they did right and what they've got to change. And like you said, some of what they did right is kind of those more chaotic plays that were able to go their way and getting people in behind. Darty as well. I think having some really, really good plays. Sorry, just loading into the STV. But for Labworks, the question is, I mean, I assume they had a pregame warm-up. You would imagine some type of scrim, but depending or maybe not, they might have just been watching this match and seeing what GlobalClan Ice do. So even though they haven't been playing Gully Wash potentially, they might have gotten a free little mini demo to look at of GCI right before their match that they can potentially exploit, as they are currently doing a powwow over in their spawn room. They got the stickies down, so they've obviously got some type of team synergy going their way, but it should be interesting to see if they're able to take anything from the previous match that GlobalClan Ice played and use it against them.
Yeah, I wonder what this ritual is going on in Spawn, but yeah, I mean, Labworks did have an earlier scrim as well, so they didn't get to see all of the match, I don't think, but they did get to see a good portion of it, I would assume. So they should have a decent idea of what's going on. So I wonder which of those two advantages will be more important for these teams. Either, having that, keeping yourself warm and making sure you're still, very comfortable, and just feeling very comfortable just playing the same map continuously, whereas Labwork gets to watch from that STV kind of and get a little bit of a over the shoulder perspective. So we'll see how those play into this match here.
Yeah, and it can be a real thing, especially on land, which all of these guys are looking forward to try to compete there. It's kind of the aim of the season. Hannah appearing in, trying to see if maybe she can discern something about this ritual and let her team know. But, on LAN, it sometimes can be the case where, whoever wins the upper bracket finals might not have as busy of a day on Sunday, so they can analyze who their competitors from the lower bracket final are and how their matches go. But the counterpoint is, especially on LAN, there might not be any teams to scrim, so you might be going in a little bit colder. Whereas, the team from the lower bracket final have just played a game and might be a little bit more warm, but a little bit more mentally exhausted to boot as well. So it can be quite a trade-off either which way. But we are going to be going ready. Hopefully the ritual has worked if you are a Labworks fan, but if you are GlobalClan Ice, you're looking to get your first win on the board tonight. First one didn't go your way. Maybe their second showing on Gully Wash can prove to be a little bit better as we roll out onto the first mid. And I'm just going to be watching to see, is Labworks going to be going the enemy team side? They are kind of mirroring exactly what GlobalClan Xiao did earlier on. And it's going to be Exile once again caught up in this area with Hannah and Hami, and we have another pause almost immediately into the start of this match. Hopefully we don't have too many more pauses tonight. We'll get word on who has lagged out and what the situation is, but very funny that both of these matches tonight have started with the enemy team taking control of a GlobalClan Ice's side of mid.
Yeah, and I think in some of those earlier pauses, those maybe could have been just. I mean, obviously we now know with the futuristic information that there was no like a pause, but it could have been like a tactical pause in theory. But for something this early on, I really doubt this was a tactical pause. You know, there's really only the opportunity for one round to be lost, but already going right back into that mid here, and GCI is losing quite a bit of space. Labwork taking so much space on the height, and GCI just has to back up into their own second here. And already getting chased, Hami is going to go down as well, and I believe he was the one who lagged out, so we'll see if that matters on this fight here that will be coming up shortly.
Yep, it is very, very unfortunate for them to have the lag out. Hopefully, like you said, it doesn't matter in this upcoming fight, but it could very well do, as it slightly did in their previous match. But if you are Labworks, you're going to be feeling pretty good with that opening mid win. Now they're going to have to try and figure out some way to pressure in onto last. As they're just going to be walking forward. Tony spamming some pipes, see if they maybe get some damage onto the sentry gun, which is being rotated around. Darty on top of it, Hami on the pyro to just help out. They do find a pick onto Shaman Exile. Nice stickies, I think, over in the lockers area. And they might be able to find another one onto Tony, and a dead demo is going to be really, really good for GlobalClan Ice. Tony is able to trade out, but I think a soldier for a demo, you're going to take that any day of the week. But JPEG over on the point gets a lot of cap time, is going to go down, but it just makes it a lot scarier to push out if you are GlobalClan Ice, because all that cap time on the point is going to be very difficult to deal with, and that is where the pause happened.
Okay, so fortunately nothing huge there. Exo had a lot of spam. I'm surprised he wasn't able to get any like force there or any other kills. Shaman barely living there on 6 HP, able to get the pack though, so no deaths there. And the side of Labwork has about 2.5 minutes to break into this last hold. There is a Hami off-class checking on Spy. Not going to see anything though, so they should know in time. Shaman is already trying to spam the gun down early. Not able to get any spam though. JPEG did sneak his way into water, trying to follow up on some of that earlier cap time he had. Grape Juice already on the ring, but did actually fall off of it and allows JPEG to already start pressuring that point again. There are traps on the point as well, which means this is a very awkward situation for JPEG. And you would hope that more of the Labworks team are able to support. Here comes a bomb from Shaman, but he gets absolutely denied by the Pyro and Exile.
Yep, not being able to make anything work. JPEG and Sodi getting a little bit of cap time on the point, trying to play it, but really great denial from Grape Juice to be able to lock that down and make sure that they don't really walk away with too much free cap time. So it's going to be back to the drawing board for Labworks. Shaman is respawning, is going to be rolling out, and I think with that they're going to be looking to maybe send one of their soldiers in, maybe take care of this sentry gun, trying to spam it down as JPEG is once again in position to try and get a little bit of cap time.
Yeah, and already right back in on Labwork, getting so much cap time. JPEG did eventually go down. A big bomb there from the soldier Grape Juice trying to help out and deny that. Hami pretty low on the ground, is going to get bowed finally. Sodi, I think, is already looking to spam that gun while the Pyro is not there, but since he's the only one spamming the gun, just not enough spam to really deal with the NG's out damage. And Darty moving the sentry gun a lot, which is definitely something you have to be careful of, because you don't want the sentry to be, rebuilding when the enemy team could be sacking in, but he's timing it pretty well so far. And they are going to off-class check again, and they are going to see that this time JPEG has swapped onto Pyro. So I have a feeling they're going to try to, they're going to bring their Pyro and their...
Oh my god! Exile!
Huge triple trap kill.
Exile! Oh my god, that is a huge trap from Exile coming out so big. He does die to Tony, but the damage has already been done. Tony is at 9 health, might die over in choke. Jaden is going to chase that one down. Shaman over in lobby is going to be over towards Launchpad, but is going to be met in the face with a sentry gun. Actually does make it to the point. And if Hami isn't there, it could have been a last back cap for Shaman, but he's got a lot of people on his case. Hami is going to find that one, but it has given some space for for Labworks to come back in onto second and try and stuff this out from GlobalClan Ice. It is going to go in overtime in terms of the round, but there is a bit of cap time coming out. The Uber has been used from GlobalClan Ice. Maybe just get some stats on the board. Yeah, as we are going to go to a round reset. So stalemate for the first one out but that was looking pretty close there.
Yeah, that was a really interesting situation. Huge play there from Exile. Just, honestly surprised that didn't get more out of them. I think if GCI had been a little bit slower and more careful there, they could have been able to work their way out onto second. But that's honestly, I don't know if that was Hami's off-class checking and then Exile predicting that that was going to happen, so he just set up that trap ahead of time. That might have been exactly what happened, but we're already into the second mid here. Labworks going back up to their side, and this mid is a lot more standard, although both teams have lost some health, but nothing huge, and here comes the bomb from Soldiers.
Yep. It's going to be Grape Juice getting it super deep onto Windows. Is going to be able to take them down. And now, with no medic, Labworks have got to try and find something here. They have the space in control of the point, forcing everyone out. Nice pick onto Jaden as well to be able to deny one more heal target for Exile and Hannah, who are on the wrong side of the map. They do have Uber advantage, but they have to try and make their way back. They should be able to get out, but the bomb is going to come in. Might force Hannah. Oh, that's a drop. Nice pipe from Tony. Hannah did not want to have to use there in no man's land on the enemy side of the map, disconnected from the majority of her team, but because of it, Tony, good bomb, is going to be able to drop her. Now Jaden does find one onto JPEG, but it's going to be a very poor position for GlobalClan Ice. Windows is going to have Uber advantage. They have a lot of space. They're trying to recapture it up GlobalClan Ice, but the heals are here. And it seems like Labworks going to be able to come right back in.
Yeah, and crucially, JPEG did go behind and then drew 3 players back, so GCI has only now captured the point, although with all this space here that Labworks were trying to take, they're already going to lose 3 trying to go for some sort of play, not going to be able to get anything, and that's going to spell GCI getting aggressive here. Labworks does have Uber, but with just 3 players, you got to be very careful, although it looks like they want to aggressively use right out onto the point here, and they just have the Soldier doing a little bit of baiting, and here comes that aggressive Uber onto the point. Exile might be caught. I don't think they're going to get anything else. They lose Tony, do get the trade onto Jaden, but nothing else so far, and Labworks is now in an awkward position, although they did actually get 3 kills. Sodi gets another kill, and that's 3 down for GCI, and they just got Uber now.
Yeah, they do, and it's going to be now on the scouts, Darty and Hami, to rush forward, see if they can get anyone at all. They're going to retreat, go back, stay on the second, but Hannah is going to fall to the Shaman bombing in, and Sodi gets another. The Soldiers coming up absolutely clutch for Labworks, and this is a terrible position if you are GlobalClan Ice, but a great position if you are Labworks. You've got Uber advantage, you've got control of second, and now you can go in with player advantage as well to boot. It's going to be the Stickies that they don't have to worry about that. Exile not going to get another crazy pick. He does find one on the Sodi. The respawners are actually coming up and being able to hold this. That's a miracle hold coming out from GlobalClan Ice. I thought for sure they were going to lose that round. Shaman, however, is hiding. Gets a lot of damage. Hannah is going to fall. And Shaman doing what Darty tried to do, but it's going to work out a lot better for Shaman this time around.
Yeah, Exile was trying to get some traps on the forwards. Tony is trying to chase him out. He does get the support of Grape Juice, so he's going to be able to get his way out. But, wow, that was an absolutely crazy situation there. And we're already back into an pretty much even Uber situation here. Although Labwork is actually already looking to potentially pressure. Exile has some traps set up on that bomb spot, which is a common place for soldiers to land or just, bomb off that wall. Just in a little bit of a predictive trap. You can kind of just snipe a soldier right out of the air, unfortunately, if they are gonna jump into that. But for now, it's just it actually is about a 20% Uber ad for Labwork, but I don't think either of the teams are gonna realize it's Uber ad. Although actually Labwork is kind of pressuring here. Maybe they're posturing here. They might go. Yeah, looks like they're already pushing in. And here comes the Uber.
Yeah, they are going to push in. The Soldiers trying to jump out. Jaden might make it out, but the same cannot be said for Grape Juice. An opportunity for GlobalClan Knights to come immediately back in with their Uber. They find one on the JPEG. Tony might fall as well. Darty getting a fair few. Is going to find 3 in this Uber. And that is going to be a very good use for GlobalClan Ice. It's only going to be Windows and Mob running back to their second. Labworks on the back foot here. They should get some respawners up. No, they do get denied. So everyone else spawning back from last. And that's going to be a much easier time for GlobalClan Ice to push out on the second.
Yeah, and they're just gonna take second very cleanly. And because even though they have like a 30% Uber ad, I don't think GCI is going to feel any sort of pressure from Labworks to push. Although we did see an aggressive Uber from them earlier, so maybe we could see something. But with a Pyro and an NG, it's very unlikely that you want to do anything because you're just down to classes to take advantage of any sort of pushing. Already, Jaden gets the kill onto JPEG's Sentry. And now JPEG is kind of stuck on NG. He is trying to rebuild it, but here comes Grape Juice in for the bomb, and another soldier or another scout in. Darty does get the force out of windows, and that's 2 down for GCI, but they did get the force. They are in river, and they do have the big door locked down, and I think, yeah, Labworks does not want to push off this, so they're just going to set up a very strong hold, but they do have to deal with the full Uber from GCI.
They do have to deal with it. Of course, they do, like you said, have a bit of time to try and set up, but it's going to be a great opportunity for GCI to get their first round of the night and of this match specifically. Tommy going to be walking forward. Seems like it's going to be through river. The Uber has been used onto Exile and Hami. They take down the sentry gun. Actually takes a little bit of time, and everyone on Labworks is just going to be resubbing and trying to come back into his Grape Juice very weak, and now they finally get a lot of Captain on the point. This should be it, and they do manage to get the first round. They just kind of forced everyone back in the spawn. Really great job from the soldiers to block them in there, and then it was just a simple case of getting the scout on the point, and the first round goes GCI's way.
Yeah, I think what happened there is because Labwork on the previous last push that they failed, they went just a little too fast and then ran to the point too fast, but Exile was still alive, and with the spawners, they just all were on the low ground and got destroyed. And so I think Labwork tried to like counterplay that strategy, but GCI just did the other thing where they just took the cap space and they instantly just took the last, and already a huge kill onto Windows. 2 kills for each team, and now everybody from the side of Labworks in on the GCI combo, and now it's just going to be Tony left alive. He is going to go down, get it to pipe onto Hami, but that's a 3-player win from GCI on this mid, and Exile is already working his way into spawn, trying to spawn camp.
Oh, and he almost gets Sodi. That is very fortunate for Sodi. But Darty is hiding on the boxes. Sodi did not clear it. And now Darty's going to have an amazing opportunity to get onto Windows XP, and is going to find it. That is going to be so bad for Labworks. Darty with the question mark in chat. Some BM. You love to see it. But it is going to be just very unfortunate for Labworks, as they are now on their last with Uber Disad. It was Uber even Uber, sorry, but now they've got to try and deal with the same situation they were in only a few moments ago.
Well, crucially for them, though, they still have plenty of time to get up a level 3 gun, and JPEG is ready to protect that gun with the pyro reflecting rockets and demo stickies, of course. And actually, Mobe is going to move the gun to a little strong spot at the bottom of the stairs. That's always an awkward spot, but here comes that aggressive Uber from GCI through the shutter.
Yep. They take down the sentry gun. It's going to be a good opening. Mobe has switched off onto the brass piece. Heavy absolutely demolishes Grape Juice. Is coming forward, trying to see if he can find anyone else here. And it's going to be tough to deal with this Heavy, especially on the brass piece. Exile is going to be one of the last few alive, along with Darty, who's hiding over in secret. They make a play for the point. Tony is standing on it. Make sure they don't get any cap time. And that is going to be a held last point for Labworks. Really great stuff from Mobe on that heavy weapons guy, especially on the brass speech, which if you get into position can absolutely shred people.
Yeah, that time they had enough players just able to fight the ground. Grape Juice is going to go down, gets picked off by Tony, and that's a late death there. And we have another pause. Ooh, that's so awkward.
Yep, one more pause. I think that makes it 4 so far tonight. So it's been Hami a fair few amount of times. Might be them again. Actually, just hitting tab. I see that Tony, at least on my screen, has over 100 ping. So it might be that. Obviously, it's very unfun to play super high ping any class, but especially demo. Demo is probably one of the worst to try and deal with on a high ping, soldier included, but demo as well. So for Tony to be dealing with that, hopefully not playing too much on his mental, and if it is them lagging out, they're able to reset their internet and get back in at a lower ping. But once again, kind of a slow game, very back and forth, very close, but seems in mirror to the previous one we just saw. It's going to be Global Clan Ice kind of walking away slowly but surely, getting more and more ground. But we do have word that it's not a pause from someone lagging out, which is great. It's not a tech pause, it is a tactical pause coming out from one of the teams. So maybe we can expect something crazy in the next 90 seconds that would warrant maybe a tactical pause from potentially Labworks, or I could even see GCI if they do lose this round pretty close, because even though it would be 1-1, it's been very back and forth, and it's not like they've been necessarily dominant. So both teams having things to work on.
Yeah, it really could go either way. Both teams have had great plays, and then both teams have also made a couple of crucial mistakes that have cost them on some of these situations. So, honestly, cleaning up things and also being more prepared for the enemy team's plays are both very important. And I do know that Tony is actually always on that like about 100 ping. So, that honestly might even be a mental buff considering he has that location advantage. Unfortunately, when you're just further from the servers, you just have that higher ping, which just means uh, projectiles are just not going to get there as fast. But if you are able to make it to LAN, this is a LAN season, by the way. Remember, top 4 teams will make it to LAN. You do get that nice 5 ping, and so suddenly that will not be an issue at all, assuming you can make it to LAN, of course. But every team that makes it to LAN always it makes it so much more competitive.
Yep, it can be a real proving ground, because you do have those cases where teams who were great in the regular season online just kind of fold a little bit. They choke at land, and then you also have the opposite where some players, some teams come alive during that. But we have also come alive in this match once again, as we have seen it be unpaused. Seems like Labworks going to be able to get back in onto mid. Shaman leading the way, creating a little bit of space. It's going to be Jaden just jumping back over onto second, getting the heck out of there, as they are going to try and furiously build to try and lower this Uber descent that they're currently at. But we're in another pause, as it seems like this time is going to be Labworks in position to push through choke.
Oh, and unfortunately, it looks like this time it was a technical pause because I think what happened is at the end of the round, Exile, or at the start of the next round, Exile crashed, which might be very awkward, especially if that's your demo on the mid fight. That might just mean GCI's next mid is just going to be completely over already right from the beginning. We did see Grape Juice in on Sniper there. For a second, I think potentially trying to stay for a pick. Not something I normally see because I think it's almost always going to be like Darty sniping, maybe Hami on this team. So I'm honestly surprised to see Grape Juice off class. But besides that, I guess it was just for a second, just looking in case somebody from Labworks got a little too overzealous when the rest of their team wasn't ready. But for now, it's just going to be, here comes the push in from Labworks. Although, as I said, it's actually not a push because both teams have Uber. So Labworks is sending in a sack, not able to get any force or anything onto Hannah, is going to be able to survive. Sodi does get traded as well, so it's a 5v5. And here comes another bomb in from the soldier and does not hit the air shot onto Hannah. 2 more kills go in favor of GCI. Mob does get 1 trade, but now GCI is going to be pushing in 4 versus 3.
They're going to be pushing in over on the mid to find another onto JPEG. So really great position for GlobalClan Ice. Luckily for Labworks, the silver lining is they still do have Uber. You can see them playing very close. Mob liked this last time. It didn't quite work out. Seems like they want to try and do something similar again. Just use this Uber in immediately into everyone. They are going to get the Uber exchange that he was hoping for. Question is, can they play this post better? Windows XP in a little bit of no man's land is going to try and get out to safety. Might do it. No, Darty was in behind. Is going to be able to get the exit. So it's going to be a dead medic for Labworks. Mob trying to see if he can return the favor. Gets launched up straight into the sky. JPEG now the last one alive. And that is where maybe the first pause happened. I'm not quite sure. I don't really quite remember, but that's where a pause happened. But either way, I don't think it mattered too much, as that is going to be the second round for GlobalClan Ice. And the other pause wasn't too far after it. So if they're able to identify the issue right now, hopefully it doesn't stop Exile from rolling out on this mid and affects them too much. Yep, that's where the second pause happened. So hopefully Exile He was on the wrong team for just a second, so he might have a bit of a slower rollout, but they should still be able to fight mid.
Yeah, that is a huge, huge, not lost there for Exile, because even though he's a bit slow, at least he's there to mid, although Labwork is aggressively trying to punish that, already taking the enemy team side. Exile had to back onto his own ground, still kind of low here, and an aggressive bomb from the soldiers of GCI. Jaden does get a kill onto Windows with a very nice shot, and now it's just going to be the side of Labwork trying to salvage, and they do manage to get the trade kill onto Hannah, but nothing else there. And with Grape Juice behind, cleaning up the last 2 kills, that's a clean mid-win for GCI.
Yep, it is going to be a mid-win for GlobalClan Ice. Of course, once again, the silver lining for Labworks is that they were able to take it down Hannah, so it is going to be even Ubers, even though Windows spawned quicker. He didn't spawn with anyone, so couldn't start building until the same time that Hannah did. So they're going to be able to defend their last, but we've already seen GlobalClan Ice manage to break it 2 times now. So they've still got a lot of work ahead of them if they want to try and come back in, hold this last, and then go further and try and take their first round tonight.
Yeah, I did take a little peek at the logs for now, and Exile has been absolutely dominating compared to anybody in the server. So we'll see if that continues for the rest of this match. As here's an aggressive bomb from Grape Juice, does get the kill onto Windows, and Darty does get the reflect kill, and Xiao got a kill into Darty, but that is a huge med kill there, even without Uber, and that's going to mean that GCI will have an Uber advantage pushing into last. We do have JPEG up on Sniper, maybe trying to get some cheeky early kill while Mo builds the gun, but that's a very difficult situation for Labworks. And now GCI are already working their way into lobby. They have that full Uber, and they'll be pushing in shortly. Hami just spotting for now, trying to figure out where everybody is so they can plan out accordingly, and they are planning out, and here comes that Uber through river.
Yep, Uber coming in. They managed to take down the sentry gun. Going to be rotating over Hami. Trying to look at the point, see if he can maybe get onto it, but not just quite yet. Actually, Jaden's going to fall. And Grape Juice as well. Exile. All the projectiles falling for GlobalClan Knights. This is a terrible Uber push for them. Amazing for Labworks, as now they're going to be able to come out. They didn't lose a single person. Hannah disconnected from Hami, so they're not even building at all to try and nullify this massive Uber advantage that is going to be heading their way. And this is going to be a perfect opportunity for Labworks to probably at least get mid. They might be able to get second as well, depending on how they play it, but Darty is up on Sniper.
Yeah, and Darty is scoped up on the forwards. He does take his shot. They do now know on the side of Labworks, so they are trying to play this a little careful. Here comes Sodi through choke, is going to get right in up to Darty and protect Windows, not make him use through that doorway or anything. Very well done there. And that's going to mean there's still about a 30% Uber ad on the side of Labworks. I don't know if they want to go off of it. I think at this point they're still getting healthy. Their soldiers don't really feel too comfortable, but you have to go soon if they want to actually go off this Uber ad. But it looks like they're just going to say, okay, we're not going off the Uber ad. We're going to send JPEG and Sodi in behind, and Exile and Darty are dealing with this behind play. And now Darty's taking a 1v2 onto the Scout and Soldier. He is going to back out, get support from Exile here, but this is a very awkward situation as the rest of Labwork is just pressuring through Big Door.
Yep, you got to play this so well if you are GlobalClan Ice. And you still managed to kind of force everyone back out, though Soda and JPEG are still up in river. They have spotted them. Exile just trying to make sure that they don't get caught out, but it's actually going to be the force out from Windows XP, and this is going to be perfect for GlobalClan Ice. They can just rush through choke. The people in behind are going to be taken care of. JPEG is going to fall. Sodi's super weak over on the low ground. It's going to be a 3-person player advantage for GlobalClan Ice to go forward here. Labworks just trying to escape back onto their last, and maybe at risk of losing Tony just a little bit. Shaman in the forward spawn is going to back spawn back onto last, and it's a very good push out for GlobalClan Ice.
Yeah, and with it's still being even, although as we say that, Darty has, excuse me, that was Hami who snuck his way into Secret, is not going to be able to get anything. Shaman gets that kill. Sodi gets the second kill onto Grape Juice, sacking in early. And now it's just going to be a double sack attempt from GCI while the side of Labwork was not really set up or anything like that. And so now it's just going to give Labwork plenty of time to set up their aggressive gun. And they have a Brass Beast heavy, so they are in it for the long haul. And we do have Hami switching on to Sniper. Yes, Hami's on Sniper. Looks like at this point he's still a little bit worried about traps in the lobby. He has gotten his way through. He has not really shown himself yet. I wonder if doesn't look like there was any off-class checking, so he is going to be able to take a shot. He does reveal himself. JPEG does call it out, and so there's no free shots here onto Windows or any other Labworks player, and so now it's just going to be a lot tougher for Hami to take some shots. But the longer and longer you let him take free shots, you know, eventually he'll probably get something.
Yep, that is the gambit that they're currently working with at the moment. Exile actually doing a lot of damage to the sentry gun. Doesn't manage to find it. Xiaoma's going to be bombing to try and make sure that Exile doesn't find an easy sentry gun pick. They do find a pick, however, onto JPEG on Pyro. So it's going to be one less person blocking the spam as Mobe tries to fiercely rebuild his gun. Exile just kind of peeking through lower, gets the sentry gun, but falls trying to get it to Tony. So sentry gun for a demo, you're going to be well okay with that if you are Labwork. Tommy down and lower. They were trying to see that you could get a cheeky pick in all that chaos, but isn't going to connect with anything. So it's just going to go back to a stalemate. They're not going to go for any type of counter sack on Labworks. They're just going to be content checking down the clock and forcing GlobalClan Ice to do something.
They might have actually had an opportunity there. I don't think there wasn't really something they were keeping track of, but Jaden actually literally ran out of all of their ammo, so I had to just run all the way back to the rock and to the enemy team's choke to get multiple medium ammo packs to completely refill. And we do have Hami on spy, so we'll see how that plays out now. There was no off-class checking again from the side of Labworks here, and for now, I think Hami showed himself on sniper, but we'll see if I think they are aware on the side of Labwork, and actually Hami is going in for the pistol, is not able to get anything though, just some damage. Exile did get the dispenser and the gun, but nothing else there. And actually Grape Juice gets some cap time, no kills there. Grape Juice is kind of stuck in water. He's gonna probably get caught out here. Shaman gets a kill onto Grape Juice there. And now it's just going to be a failed sack attempt, and they're already trying to rebuild everything, get that gun back up to level 3, hopefully in time for the next push attempt. But I wonder if we'll see anything crazy like a... And there's no time for a banner. Actually, we do have Hami, who has swapped onto Heavy for the last push, so you're going to expect an Uber exchange here from the side of GCI, and then Hami to come in post-Uber with that Heavy. So here comes that Uber exchange.
Oh, JPEG is going to be going forward in the Uber as well, so we have maybe a potential for some heavy on heavy action as JPEG locking down that shutter door, making sure that no one from GlobalClan Ice was able to really get in for free. Now Hami makes his presence known up on the balcony area, as it's going to be a big bomb coming in from Grape Juice. Does take down Windows XP. Is that going to matter, though? There's only 15 seconds left in this round. All damage is permanent for GlobalClan Ice. Labworks do have the respawn advantage of being able to just go in, hit the banning bind, and immediately come right back out. But they find one on the Tony. They find one on the Shaman. This could be another round for them. Sodi is going to fall on the point, but they don't stand on the point, and it is going to be a stalemate. That should have been a round for GlobalClan Ice. They were getting the picks, but it was just enough from Labworks to deny them any point presence, and that is going to send us to a round reset.
Yeah, that was just a little bit of oversight. They had so much space. They had the demo kill, I think. So that's such a great opportunity, but they just couldn't get anybody on the point. And you have to get somebody on the point to get that overtime, so that you can actually, make sure you keep, aggressing off of the point time you had. Already another aggressive mid from the side of Labworks going in, and a huge bomb from Sodi coming in behind, getting absolutely nuclear, getting 3 kills there pretty much. Tony gets a 4th kill onto Grape Juice, trying to sack in for the medic. Nothing successful there, and that's a decisive mid win for Labwork.
It is indeed, and this is, I think, probably the most decisive mid win we've had for any team. Even though, GlobalClan Ice has won, I think, the majority of them. They've always been a fair bit scrappy, and I don't think it's been a case where a medic has kind of lived and the rest of the team has lived as dominantly as on that last one. So it's going to be a great opportunity for Labworks to get their first point on the board. They got their Uber. They're going to be making their way into lobby, just trying to clear everything. Make sure there's no sneaky traps coming out from Exile, who was able to get a quite crucial one onto them last time they were trying to push onto GlobalClan Ice's last, but they're able to get into lobby. Now the Uber is going to come through. Mobe leading it in, milking a fair bit, taking a bit of space, and now going to be using Grape Juice might be able to survive here. It's just going to not immediately die to the Uber. They find the sentry gun, but they don't have a lot of cap time. They haven't found anyone just quite yet. Hami over in the choke area, but the crits on the heavy, they're all hiding right around here. Hami finds one on the Shaman, and this has gone disastrously for Labwork. Sodi makes his presence known, tries to eke out the cap, but is going to get absolutely taken down from the heavy and Grape Juice, and that was a failed last push coming out from Labworks.
Yeah, I actually really like that play from Jaden, switching on to shotgun and then hiding in secret. Since since JPEG always has been going for this cap time through water, just having that scout or having the soldier with the shotgun there ready to fight, and then able to hold off the demo who was trying to like force Jaden out by going through secret. That was just a huge play, and alongside the crits is going to be a very solid last hold for GCI. And now they have a bit of an Uber ad, and they are back on stock Uber for now, so it is about a 30% Uber ad that they are going to be able to use to push in very shortly here. And actually, Exile and Grape Juice already get some space in, and that's going to mean Labwork has to leave. And I don't think GCI will feel comfortable pushing. We'll see. They are trying to stack the point, and they do have about a 15% Uber ad, and it looks like they're actually trying to go, but maybe they'll just try to get somebody in behind. We'll see.
Yep, they could try and get someone in. Actually, I say that JPEG and Sodi are kind of trying to see if they can maybe play the shutter area, but they're all gonna have to back up. Tony is gonna follow Kratos to his death, so that's gonna be no demo for Labwork. So even though it is even Ubers, it's gonna be a great opportunity for GlobalClan Ice to try and pressure Hami, already making his way through River and trying to get onto the point, fighting Sodi. The bomb coming out from Grape Juice are just getting so much damage, but they do force the Uber out, but it's still gonna be Hannah with 100% now, does finally use onto Grape Juice, runs forward and kills himself on the point, but I don't think it's gonna matter as it's still gonna be around for GlobalClan Ice.
Yeah, just a bit of a miscoordination there, and of course the silly demo death, unfortunately cratering after trying to jump out. But I think it really was like that might have looked silly, but I think really the biggest thing that happened there was just the miscoordination from Labworks, because they were so close to getting Uber, and I think the rest of Labworks were like, yeah, we're gonna hold this off because we're already like 90. We're gonna play to like fight this, and Windows and Moog were just out in River, and they just were not there to help the team. XL very low at the start of this mid, is going to get bowed up, but a lot of space for Labworks early on this mid.
Yeah, a lot of space, taking really great control of it. Grape Juice makes his way through drop down. It might have an opportunity, does so much damage on the Windows, who serves right into the rockets of Jaden. So really great soldier coordination there, but it's not all one for GlobalClan Ice just quite yet. We have a 2v2 Scout v Soldier for both teams. It's going to be Darty on top of the point, just dancing around it. They're all a little bit weak, and I think that's going to be the call for at least Labworks to just back up and maybe try and wait for the respawners and either take control of second fairly confidently, or maybe try and go for the repush in. But seems like they're just going to be happy to stay on second and stalemate things out.
Yeah, it was definitely a good salvage there on the side of Labworks, and they are going to make that even Uber situation, so it's not going to be too bad. And we are going to see GCI. I was going to say they were going to build, but it looks like they actually already want to send somebody in behind early or go for a sack now, which does mean you have to worry about the fact that you can't like get an Uber force on the medic, because Windows doesn't have Uber, so no Uber to force. But it does mean that you do just get more time to go for creative sack plays, and that's exactly what is going to happen. Grape Juice and Darty are going to go in behind very low. Sodi is going to go down. That's an early pick for the side of GCI, and they're actually going to take so much space. JPEG does get a trade kill onto Darty, but Labworks is just backed out, and JPEG did go in trying to get the force, but that's a second win for GCI. Grape Juice does go down to Tony cleaning him up, trying to sack in, but now it's a 4v4, and GCI is ready to pressure onto last, and they're already pressuring in.
Oh my god, XL just bombing in without a care in the world. Hami as well goes for a play, doesn't work out, so very aggressive stuff coming out from GlobalClan Ice. Labworks not falling for it though, or not falling to it I should say. They're trying to push out. A dead demo is a fairly big advantage that they want to try and work with, but they, with JPEG being taken down to the sniper of Darty, they are going to call it off, head back over onto last, make sure they don't lose anyone else, and set up Mob immediately switching on to the engineer. And They know that Darty is up on Sniper. He's looking over towards lower as Grape Juice and Hami try and go for a play onto the point. Grape Juice finding Sodi is going to open things up, as that is going to be, once again, a player down, one less projectile to inhibit and stop them from getting in with all the spam. They take down the sentry gun. They find Windows. Darty with the body shot. That's a drop. And now this should be the call. They're going to be bombing in. Uber Use. They get on the point, and that's it. 4-0 for GlobalClan Ice.
Yeah, big win for GlobalClan Ice, especially in the standings. That was only the first match of these two teams this season, so definitely enough time for both teams to have, you know, potentially important rematches throughout the rest of the season. But a big decisive win, 4-0, is a big advantage there in terms of the standings. And even if you just go 1-1 with Labworks in the rest of the season, that could potentially mean that this match potentially here could mean that GCI get the third seed just right off of that.
Yep, it could be, depending on like how you said it all plays out. But for GlobalClan Ice, definitely a really good match in general. I mean, this night I'd say was pretty competitive for them. Obviously, they weren't able to get around off of GlobalClan Xiao, but they were pretty close, and they had a lot of great back and forth moments. Just a few things made it sure that it was GlobalClan Xiao walking away with the victory. But same thing for Labworks as well. They had a lot of great moments, a lot of great opportunities, but just weren't able to capitalize on it enough. And just looking at the logs, it's kind of like you said, Exile doing the most. I wouldn't say maybe by far in this server, but absolutely doing the most damage. And once again, having a great game. 20 and 11, 317 DPM. The man has been a very solid machine for his team so far.
Yeah, I mean, it feels like Exile was honestly just a different player tonight. He was so much more aggressive with those bombs, so much more willing to sticky jump, and I like the changeup, and I don't think really GCX or Labwork were honestly prepared for it. I really think that was the biggest change that I saw in terms of the GCI playstyle tonight, and I'm really glad to see it, and I'm glad it worked out for them, and I'm hoping to see more little strats like that in the future, and the couple little times where Jaden swapped onto shotgun pocket in particular moments to make the push awkward. I love those little optimizations and little tricks you can do to try to catch the enemy team off guard when you're, dealing with situations that are often not very advantageous to you. But yeah, when I was looking, Exile was doing even better, but definitely still a solid game from Exile tonight and a complete change up.
Yep, a really, really great game for a really great, actually, couple of games for Exile, at least just in pure stats, looking at it like that. But I mean, overall, for Labworks, it's going to be unfortunate to take the loss, but like you said, there's still two more games in this matchup between these two teams, so they could still technically come out on top if they win both of them, which is, I think, doable. It's going to be hard for them. They're going to have to put in a lot of work, but I know a fair few of those guys are grinders, and I think that they might be able to come up with something. But on the other side, for GlobalClan Ice, this could be a very important win and kind of solidify them for not only playoffs but potentially third in playoffs, depending on how the rest of the season goes for them. Of course, Anglerfish and Labworks, but it's going to be very exciting, as it's kind of I'd say we're probably roughly in the halfway point. It's kind of hard because these teams have kind of scheduling it very up in the air. Sometimes you have a double header between them because they're playing all of their matches in 1 week and stuff like that. So a little bit hard to tell, but as we get closer and closer to land, the outlook will become much more clear. But overall, a fairly good night for GlobalClan Ice, a good night for GlobalClan Xiao, and an okay night for Labworks. But I mean, some pretty great games. I think we're gonna wrap it up though. Anything you wanna further analyze, M1?
Nothing for me tonight. Shout out to everyone playing and everyone watching, of course. And I do also want to mention that tomorrow night, if that's still the plan, is I believe that we're going to have a GCI, or excuse me, a G6 versus GlobalClan Xiao match tomorrow night. So stay tuned. Be excited for that. Don't remember what matches what we're seeing on Thursday, but I do know that that should be tomorrow. So tune in for that if you're interested. But besides that, nothing else from me.
Yep. Yeah, that match between GlobalClan Xiao and G6 should be a good one. Opportunity to see if GlobalClan Xiao have been able to find something in the locker and give G6 a better run, because last time G6 won very pretty doubtly, I would say. But that's going to be tomorrow. This is tonight, and we're at the end of tonight. At least for us, you just saw a doubleheader from GlobalClan Ice facing off against GlobalClan Xiao, where they lost 3-0 and then winning against Labworks 4-0. It's been a fairly okay day for them, but it's going to be a great night for us as we end it here. Thank you so much for watching. We will see you tomorrow. Have a good night. See you next time.